Good morning, students. Today we are going to start chapter 1 Generations of Computers. In this chapter, we'll discuss about different generation computers. First of all, we'll see what is generation. Children, you have your grandparents, parents. Your grandparents belongs to first generation, your parents belongs to second generation, and you belongs to third generation. Way, a computer also has different generations. Generation of computer means remarkable improvement or growth and development in computer technology. From past to present, number of computers were developed. Some was very big in size, some are very small. This is due to the technology what they used. On the basis of their technology, the computers are categorized into five different generations. Let's take an example of mobile phone. In the past, the telephones were used only for making and receiving the calls. But now, what smartphones we are using, not only for making and receiving calls, but also we can do online shopping, chatting, we can send emails, and other also work also can be done. This is possible due to the technology used. Same way, the computers are also using different technology, and on the basis of this technology, these computers are divided into five different computer generations. You can see in this example the development of modern computer. In the past, the big size computers were there, which almost take the space of one entire room, and slowly, gradually, the size became decreased. Now we are able to keep them on lap. We can keep in our pocket. This is possible due to the technology they used. Computer generations. See, you can see in this slide the first generation computers, the size, you can see the size, second generation computer, third generation computer, fourth generation computer, and fifth generation computer. Let's see the duration of each generation computers. First generation computers were developed between 1946 to 1958. Second generation computers were developed during 1959 to 1964. Third generation computers were developed during 1965 to 1970. Computers developed 1971 onwards comes under fourth generation computer, and fifth generation computer, they are in the process of development. First generation of computer. This generation of computers were very big in size. They almost take the space of entire room. Why they were very big in size? Because they used 17,000 to 18,000 of vacuum tubes. These vacuum tubes were the technology used in this generation computers. They were bulb-like structure, produced a lot of heat, and the installation used to fuse frequently. This vacuum tube allows signals to be sent and calculation to be performed more frequently. Failure of one vacuum tube causes error in computing, and you can see the size of first generation computer is very big and thousands of vacuum tubes are there. So it was very difficult to find out which vacuum tube causes error, failure, showing failure, and almost the replacement of old vacuum tube to new takes 15 to 20 minutes time. This generation computers use programming language, that is machine language. The calculations, numerical calculations were done in this generation computer. These generation computers take mathematical input as they perform mathematical calculations only. Punch card, magnetic tape, and paper tape. These were the input and output devices used. Let's see the features and drawback of this generation computers. First, the size was very big, operating speed was very slow, they were very expensive. Why? Because they were using thousands of vacuum tube. This generation computers used programming language, that is lowest level programming language, machine language, which takes input in the form of 0 and 1. These computers used vacuum tubes. Examples of this generation computers are ENIAC and UNIVAC. Now see the drawback of this generation computer. As they were very big in size and they consume lot of electricity, they produce a lot of heat. Why they produce lot of heat? Because they consume a lot of electricity. So working on this computer for a long time was not possible. They were not reliable. They use they use huge amount of electricity. They were very expensive. All these are the drawbacks of the first generation computer. As the size was very big, taking up the space of entire room. Why they taking up the space of entire room? Because the number thousands of vacuum tubes were installed in it, and because the size was very big, the installation was not easy. So these computers were not portable. Let's see second generation computers. The second generation computers. Computers developed during 1959 to 1964 comes under second generation computers. These generation computers were smaller as compared to first generation computer. You can see in this picture, this is the example of second generation computer. The first generation computer takes entire space of the room, whereas the second generation computers become smaller as compared to first generation computer. Why they were smaller? Because of the technology they used. They used transistors. Vacuum tubes were replaced by transistors in second generation computers. Vacuum tubes were big in size, transistors are small in size. One, one vacuum tube was equivalent to 40 transistors. These transistors were small in size, low cost, and more reliable than vacuum tubes, which made the second generation computer faster, cheaper, and reliable. Though the transistors also produce lot of heat, subjected cause to the damage into the computer. As they produce lot of heat, air conditioning was required. Let's see the input and output devices used in this generation computer. Magnetic tape and punch card. These were the input and output devices used in this generation. Now we'll see the features and the features. Size was smaller than first generation computer. Operating speed was slow. Cost got reduced as compared to first generation computer. This generation computer used assembly language. They used transistor. The example of this generation computers are IBM 140, Mark III, and Leo. Now we'll see the drawbacks of this generation computer. They also produce a lot of heat. That's why the air conditioning was required. Speed was slow as compared to future generation computer. Memory was less. So these were the features and drawback of this generation computer. Third generation computers. Computers developed during 1965 to 71 comes under third generation computers. This generation computers were small in size as compared to first and second generation computers. In this generation, transistors were replaced by integrated circuit, also called semiconductor chip, which increased the speed of computers, which made computer more powerful. This generation computer could carry billions of instructions in a few seconds. As size were very small, they could be fit in a small file cabinet. A single IC has many transistors, capacitor and resistors on a small piece of semiconducting material. These ICs increase the speed of this generation computer and reduce the size of computer. This generation computer occupied less storage and consumed less electricity. They were small in size, reliable, and efficient. These generation computers generated less heat and required less maintenance. Multi-programming operating systems were used in this generation computer. High-level language like COBOL, Pascal, Fortran were used to program the computer. Input and output devices used in third generation computer. In this generation, monitor and keyboard and printers were used as input and output devices. Monitor and printer were the output devices and the keyboard was input device. We are using the keyboard present also. It is the most popular input device. Now, let's see the features and drawback of this generation computer. The, these transistors were replaced by integrated circuit in this generation computer, which made the size of this generation computer small. Due to IC, the computers were more reliable. User interacted with monitor and keyboard, which interfaced with an operating system. This generation computer used multi-programming operating system, generated less heat, used high-level language like COBOL and Fortran. Examples of this generation computers are IBM 360 and CDC. Now, the drawback of this generation computers. IC chip are difficult to maintain because this is made up of semiconductor material. On semiconductor chip, the small transistors were fitted. The highly sophisticated technology required for manufacturing of IC chips, though it produces heat, due to this air conditioning is required. So these are some features and drawback of third generation computers. Fourth generation computers. Computers developed 1971 onwards comes under fourth generation computers. These computers are small in size, are portable, and can be carried easily in pocket. At present, we all are working on fourth generation computers. Everywhere we can see the use of fourth generation computers. The fourth generation computers used very large scale integration technology. Using this technology, thousands of small tiny transistors are integrated on a small silicon chip called microprocessor or CPU. It accesses binary data as input and provide output after processing. Due to the use of microprocessor, these fourth generation computers are small in size, are cheaper. This generation computer works on different operating systems. High level are used. Let's see the input and output devices used in fourth generation computers. You are very much familiar about the input and output devices used in this generation computer. Scanner, joystick, mouse, keyboard, microphone, all these are input devices. Printer, plotter, headphone, monitors are output devices of this generation computers.
Features of this generation computer. They use microprocessor. They are multi-purpose computer, can be used for different purpose. They are accurate and reliable. Your operating speed is very fast. They are small in size. Why? Because they use microprocessor. Programming language C++ and Java are used. Example of the generation computers are PC Macintosh. The first PC personal computer was developed by IBM.
Generation computers. Fifth generation computers are still in the development process, though there are some applications that are being used today. Ultra large scale integration resulting in the production of microprocessor chips having 10 millions electronic components. These computers are based on parallel processing, hardware, and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence interprets the means and methods of making computer things like human being. Artificial intelligence. It interprets the means and method of making computer things like human being. This generation computers are still in the development process, though some of the applications such as voice recognition are being used today. Let's meet the first robot citizen, Sophia. Sophia came in in Emerald Heights School in the month of January. She interacted with the students there. Sophia uses artificial intelligence, visual data processing, and facial expressions. It intimates human gesture and facial expressions and is able to answer certain questions and to make simple conversation on predefined topics. Robot could see the environment, that is visual input, for example video camera. They take input from video camera and could be programmed to carry out certain tasks without step by step instructions. At present, the entire world is affected by COVID 19. In China and US, doctors are able to treat patient without coming in the contact with them directly using robots. Doctors are taking help of robot which is equipped with a microphone, stethoscope and camera. The robotic technology can play a crucial role in not just assisting the patient but also keeping the doctors and healthcare staff safe. The goal of fifth generation computer is to develop to the devices which can respond to the natural language. Let's see the feature of this generation computers. These generation computers are fastest and powerful till date. They are able to execute a large number of applications at very high speed. They use ULSI, ultra large scale integration. Technology helps in decreasing the size of computers. Multimedia features are also available. They are based on artificial intelligence, which can respond to the natural language. Now see the drawback. What is the drawback of fifth generation computer? The only one drawback, that is lack of human intelligence. This generation computers work on the artificial intelligence. That means the programming, whatever the programming is done, they will perform the action on the basis of the programming done. They cannot think like us. So here we discuss about all the generation computers. Let's have a recap. We'll see all the generation computers and the technology what they use. The first generation computers were very big in size. They use vacuum tubes. Second generation computers were smaller than first generation computer and they used transistor. One vacuum tube was equivalent to 40 transistor, due to which the size of second generation computers decreased. The third generation computers use integrated circuit. On this integrated circuit has number of transistors were built on a silicon chip. The fourth generation computers use microprocessor. The microprocessor, also called CPU or processor, which is the brain of computer. Fifth generation computer based on artificial intelligence. The goal of this generation computer is to develop the devices which can respond to the natural language. So here we discuss about all the generation computers. I hope you all will be able to differentiate between different generation computers. Thank you.